So you're building a home theater and you want to place your rack in another part of the house separate from your theater, maybe to reduce heat, or maybe you just don't want all that clutter in your room. But now you're faced with, how do I get audio and video to my projector or display? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can run all of your audio and video gear over one Ethernet cable up to 400 feet. Let's discuss. All right, so to set this up, it's super easy. Like, it's literally plug and play. So on the front, you'll see that there's a power indicator here that lights up. It's not lit up right now because there's no power to it. And then on the back, you have your DC volt power, where your power cable will, or power cord will plug into. And then you have your Ethernet or HDBASET. Ethernet is what you're gonna plug in there, and it's gonna send the signal over the Ethernet cable. And then you have your HDMI in. So you can't see it, but I have the HDMI in plugged into my Xbox Series X right now because that's the signal that I'm gonna be using to show you guys that I'm gonna be sending that signal over that Ethernet cable. So I have here a 100-foot Ethernet cable that's right now currently running into the living room into the other end. So this is the sender, and I don't know if you can see it on here, but it says sender, and then the other one is the receiver that's going to be receiving the signal in the living room. So you'll plug this in to the sender, and then it'll transfer or send whatever signal you want over this up to 4K60. Now you'll notice, like I said before, the power light is not lit up, and there's no power plugged into this, and there's a reason for that. This has a really cool feature where it only needs one power cord. So it only comes with one power cord. But there's two devices. There's the sender and the receiver. But what's really cool is the other end, the receiver that's in the living room, is already plugged up and it has power. Now you'll notice that when I plug this Ethernet cable in, now the power light is on. And that's because it's able to send audio, video, and power over one cable. So really cool feature. So like I said, it's literally plug and play, guys. That's all you have to do. Well, not all you have to do, but you plug in one end, and then I'm gonna go into the living room and show you how that setup is working as well. All right, I just wanted to show you guys the receiver. So you can see there, it says receiver, has the model, and it's got your power indicator. And then on the back, everything's just plugged in basically the same way. So you've got HDMI out, you've got your HDBASET, which is your Ethernet, and then you have the DC volt. Now, you'll notice that only one of these has power to it, and that's by design. So the really cool thing about these is that you only need power for one end, and it doesn't matter which one you plug it in. It doesn't matter if you connect the power to the receiver or the sender. But as long as you have power to one of these, it'll send the power back over the Ethernet, I believe. So really cool. If you don't have a lot of outlets everywhere, you can put the power on whichever one you want to plug into the outlet. So this is, again, the receiver, and then I'm gonna show you, how everything works once we turn everything on. Okay, so I'm at the TV. We've got everything hooked up. Just to recap, I've got the HDBASET HDMI 2.0 extender. So there's two parts. There's your sender, and then there's your receiver. So in my home theater, the sender is in my home theater and it's hooked up to my Xbox Series X. And the reason why I have it hooked up to my Xbox Series X is because I know I can showcase 4K60, which is the max that this can do. And it can do HDR. So that's the sender. On the receiving side, which is going to be hooked up to my TV, I have the receiver. I have it here. I've got it hooked up to my TV on HDMI 1, and I've got a 100-foot Ethernet cable running from my TV to my home theater. Now, obviously my home theater is not 100 feet away from my TV, but it doesn't matter because that signal still has to travel the length of this Ethernet cable, which is 100 feet. So we've got everything hooked up. I should be able to turn on my TV, set it to HDMI 1. I've got my Xbox controller here, and I can turn it on, and we should get a signal. So let's see what happens. All right, the TV's on. I am on HDMI 1 already, and I'm going to turn on the Xbox that's in my home theater. And we have a signal. So it clearly works. Awesome. All right, now let's see if there's any lag. So you're gonna see me move the buttons on the controller. Absolutely no lag. So now let's look at the settings to see what settings I'm getting. So if we go into settings, and then I'm gonna go to TV display options. So I have it set to 4K resolution, which it is. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't be showing 4K. So let's go over to 4K TV details to see what signal is being transmitted. Okay, so I'm getting 4K Ultra HD at 60 Hertz. Doesn't support 4K 120, which obviously it's not supposed to, at least not this HDBaseT extender. And can't get 120 for gaming. Can't get HDR10 for gaming. That's weird. I don't know why it's showing that, because it supports HDR10, so I should be able to get that for gaming, but we'll look into that in a little bit. So no Dolby Vision for gaming, but we're gonna check that out here in a little bit, because I did some testing and I think you're gonna be interested to see if you can actually get Dolby Vision over this HDBaseT extender. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, so for movies, we can get 4K at 10-bit at 24 Hertz. And looks like we get HDR10 for movies and TV. And then for capturing games, I can capture 4K gaming clips and screenshots. So let's go into a game. We'll go into MLB The Show. I know that this game has 4K60. And since we're talking about baseball, go Astros. The time of this recording, we are 1 win away from winning the World Series. It's been a great series against the Phillies. The Astros pitched a no-hitter, only the second no-hitter in World Series history, so I'm super excited. You can see the love that I have for my Astros there. Okay, so let's go into the game. All right, so we are getting audio and video. Again, this is the HDBaseT HDMI 2.0 extender. I am running this from my home theater where my Xbox Series X is located into my living room over 100 feet of Ethernet cable. And this looks pretty good, man. There's no lag, everything looks good. Now, to let you know, this HDBaseT extender, I believe, can go up to 400 feet. I believe in the unboxing I said 300, but it's actually 400 feet. So this is an awesome solution if, you know, you're building a home theater from scratch, brand new, or maybe you're doing some remodeling, and maybe you're in a bind because you have all your home theater equipment, your rack, in a completely different room, or maybe you want to put it in a completely different room. Maybe you want to save on some space, you don't want all that clutter in your room. Maybe you don't want to have all that heat being generated in your home theater, or maybe it just doesn't fit the wife acceptance factor and you need a solution. So with this solution, you can actually put all your components, your equipment, whether you have a rack, whatever it is, in a completely different part of the house up to 400 feet, and you can run one single Ethernet cable and get all of your audio and video. So right now I'm playing MLB The Show, and I should be getting 4K60 because this game supports 4K60. It also supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But everything looks good, guys. There's absolutely no lag, and I'm very impressed with this. I'm looking forward to using this in my setup. It's going to be a little bit different setup. I'm going to be using this in my garage, home studio / office, because I need a way to screen record, you know, video and audio sometimes from my home theater, and it gets really cumbersome having to take my components out of my theater, take it into the office, hook everything up, unplug everything, put it back in, you know, vice versa. So That's what I'm gonna be using it for, but again, you can use this for your home theater setup as well. Okay, so everything is working great. There's no lag. I'm really happy with this product. But remember before, when I went into the settings of the Xbox, it said that I couldn't get HDR10 for gaming or or Dolby Vision for gaming. But I'm actually gonna test that. Now, I couldn't find any type of literature or any statements on their website that says that this particular model supports Dolby Vision. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce my HD Fury 4K Diva into the signal. So I'm gonna have basically everything running from the HD Fury to the TV, and then all my components are gonna be hooked up into the HD Fury. So I'm gonna introduce that into the signal, and then I'm gonna be using the same equipment. I'm gonna back out of this game, exit out of it, do a hard reset of the game so that it can refresh the data. And I'm gonna see if we can actually get Dolby Vision through this HDBASET extender, even though it says that it can't. Okay, so I switched some cables around. I introduced the HD Fury 4K Diva into the signal, and I've got my iPad here so that I can log into the Diva and see what we are getting as far as, you know, frame rate, bit rate, and what the resolution is. So remember, when I went into the settings before on the Xbox, it said that I couldn't get HDR10 for gaming and I couldn't get Dolby Vision. So now I'm gonna set my iPad down and we're gonna go back into the settings and see what we get here. Okay, so go into display options, still on 4K Ultra HD, 4K TV details. And now you see we get HDR10 for gaming, and then where it says Dolby Vision, says your TV supports Dolby Vision for gaming up to 4K60, but you may experience issues like increased input latency when this feature is enabled. So I'm guessing this has to do with probably the HDBaseT. I don't think I get this when I have everything hooked up through the projector and the 4K Diva. This is just a green check mark. So I've actually never seen this before, but we're still gonna test it to see what happens. Now, if we go down here for watching movies, we get HDR10 and Dolby Vision. So if you introduce a 4K Diva or a 4K HD Fury product into this thing, you can get Dolby Vision, but disclaimer, just know that you might get increased input latency. But let's go back into our game. Okay, so we have the game running. Now if we take a look at the Diva's GUI, so we can see the source is, well, let's go down here. So it recognizes my Sony TV. So just FYI, this is a 2015 Bravia 4K TV that doesn't support Dolby Vision, only HDR10, but because I have the Diva, I'm able to get low latency Dolby Vision. And if you're wondering what in the world is a 4K Diva, what is HD Fury, what is low latency Dolby Vision, I have numerous videos on my channel that talks about that and describes it in length, so please go check those out if you don't know what that is. Okay, so it recognizes my Sony TV. It can do 4K60, 420, 8-bit HDR with BT 2020. And then if we look at the source on my Fury Diva, it's the Microsoft Xbox, so it's plugged in, just in case you're wondering that it's not actually plugged in, but it's the Xbox. So the input signal is 4K60, 420, BT 709, 10-bit. Now that's what it was before, but let me hit refresh now. So now I've hit refresh and now we're getting 4K60, 422, BT 2020, 12-bit, low latency Dolby Vision, and then it's putting it in an HDR10 container, but I'm still getting Dolby Vision. So again, if you hook up an HD Fury to this product, you can still get Dolby Vision. Now, I don't know what the input lag on this is. I haven't really played with it too much, but if you do, hook it up, let me know in the comments if you notice, like, if there's any significant lag that significantly affects, the video quality or your gaming experience. So we know that we can get HDR10 and Dolby Vision for gaming, but let's check out an app like Disney Plus to see if we still get Dolby Vision. Because Disney Plus is going to have, 24 Hertz. I think there may be some 60 Hertz for TV shows, but So we're gonna go to Disney Plus. And let's go into Star Wars. Okay, so this happened to me earlier and I wanted you to see it. Now, I'm assuming this happens because of the change in refresh rate. So the baseball game, MLB The Show, is at 60 hertz. And I believe this is probably gonna be like 23.976, but it cleared itself up. So let's hit refresh on the Fury and it's still getting 4K60. Now, this is an issue just specifically with the Xbox that I've noticed. For some reason, it doesn't always show TV shows or movies that are supposed to be, not TV shows are usually in 30 FPS, but it doesn't usually show movies in 23.976, which is the frame rate. And I know that because I've looked at it in Plex. So I've gone into Plex and for whatever reason, the Xbox still outputs it at 60 hertz. So that's not a very accurate interpretation, but as you can see here, we're still getting low latency Dolby Vision. So awesome solution, guys. Check it out. I'll leave links in the description if you want to buy this product. I think this is gonna be a really big help for a lot of people who need to put the racks and their equipment in a completely different room for whatever reason it is. This is a solution. You can get 4K60, you can get HDR10 and Dolby Vision if you introduce an HD Fury 4K Diva. Now, I haven't tested this with other products like my Apple TV and the Video Shield. I'll probably do some testing with that to see if I can still get HDR10, which I already know that I can get HDR10, just not HDR10 with gaming through the HDBASET, which is weird. I'll have to reach out to Ori and ask them about that. But again, guys, this is an awesome solution. So make sure you check it out. Links are gonna be in the description. And I appreciate you watching this video. All right, guys, that's gonna conclude it for this review of the HDBASET HDMI 2.0 extender. Now, this is a really awesome product that I'm really looking forward to incorporating in my future home studio build. But I wanna know if you guys would use this in your setup. So that's gonna bring us to query of the week. This week's query is, have you ever used an HDBASET extender in your setup? If so, how was your experience? I'll leave an affiliate link in the description if you want to pick this up and use it in your system. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, no matter where you're at on your home theater journey, make sure you enjoy it. For Haterade Cowboy Cinema, I'm Haterade Cowboy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.